Hey guys, Jason77 here doing a pilot TV movie, if you want to call it TV movie review, and it is a review that I wanted to do for a while, and after finally seeing the show that never was um, on um, on the net, I can actually now finally talk about it. It is Wonder Woman, a show that was supposed to air on NBC, but never saw the light of day. Um, this has a very interesting history, and it has a lot to do with the people behind the show and the people who's higher up at NBC. As you all know, NBC did not have a good 2 year running with some of the shows that they had on their Monday slots. Heroes have completely ran out of gas. Even though, in my own opinion, Heroes was still a pretty good show and had a very strong cult following, but due to low ratings and pretty much a not so strong story in the last 2 years, they finally canceled Heroes and replaced it with a show that pretty much was a disaster right from the start, and that was Cape. Haven't seen Cape. Family members did, and they said it was nothing very much to be desired of the show. So they ended up being pulled after one season. I believe about 15, 16 episodes they had beforehand. My headache's gone now. Put these back on. Then there was word that they was actually gearing up for a Wonder Woman show, and it raised my eyebrows a little bit, because at one hand I actually want to see a new carnation of Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman hasn't been in any mass media, whether television or movies, since the 70s. Wonder Woman. We had animation, of course, direct-to-TV animation movies with the Justice League and some cameos with Batman, but we really didn't have a major live-action film or TV show. So when word came out that they was gonna, present us with a new Wonder Woman TV series, I was actually geared up for it. Then again, I had to remind myself that this is pretty much NBC's work, and NBC does not have a good history of remaking shows. Gladiator was pretty much the only one out of the bunch that was decent, and yet that still got canceled. Bionic Woman, Knight Rider, all pretty much remakes, and they all fell in the can, and now they are trying to rehash the monsters, which they are trying to bring episodes of that show back. Don't ask me why. This is what they plan to do. But Wonder Woman was something that I was very, very curious, and despite NBC's reputation of remaking shows, I still wanted to see how it goes. The pictures came out, the first glimpse of the new Wonder Woman, and it, needless to say, did not pique anyone's interest. People was complaining about the suit because it looked like it was made out of a Halloween costume, a very cheap plastic Halloween costume. But I will get to the suit later, because it's kind of interesting how they did the suit. But in any case, I said, okay, maybe they'll fix it. Maybe they'll come back and do something done. I still want to see the show for myself to see how that turns out. And then the news broke that it was canceled. And I was like, really? They canceled before you even got the chance to see any TV slots, which was kind of weird, and a bit disappointing, because at one hand there was got to be a reason why they canceled it, why they didn't like it, and then there's another reason is I was wondering, I was saddened because I actually wanted to see a Wonder Woman show. Well, I finally took a look at the show. I saw it. I saw the premiere, and I got to tell you, this pilot, I actually gotta give NBC credit for not showing it, because this would have pretty much pissed off every last comic book fan or Wonder Woman fan around the world, because this show was just bad. It was very, very bad. Not in the sense of bad where it just was bad dialogue. It was bad because, number one, it all but stripped everything that Wonder Woman was. They pretty much it pretty much destroyed the origin, the character of Wonder Woman, what she stood for, what she believes in, and just gave us a show that really felt 1980 sitcom. That's the best way I can say it. It looked like it came from the 80s. And it was kind of weird how they actually thought this was going to work. I don't know why they would present this show the way it was and not think that people was not going to complain about it. What's made me more interesting about this, as I speak about it, is that this show, this Wonder Woman, was not even in the DC universe. It was in ours. It was in ours, and how they presented it was pretty much like the same way you see in mass media, like propaganda mass media. They try to bring up some stuff and try to justify a lot of stuff that they shouldn't be justifying at all, which was another thing that really bothered me. The stuff that they try to portray this Wonder Woman is not Wonder Woman. And I'll get to that as I tell the story. Let's get to what the plot was. The story opens up as an athlete, person's going to college. He's about to go to, everything's jumped for joy, but he has a unusual attack where he looks like he's having a heart attack, but he's bleeding out of his eyes, and he's just basically all messed up. And then we cut to a massive chase. We're seeing some guy chasing, running really, really fast, and then right away we see Wonder Woman chasing him, and she ended up catching him, but in a very weird way. I mean, she has it's not the way that you kind of expect that you catch him, he's trying to turn to the police. No, she's catching him, and she's doing all sorts of things, basically saying that I'm not going to turn you over to the cops, doing unnecessary methods like injecting, taking his blood sample and then just giving it to the police, no regard to the law whatsoever, which is totally off of left field. Another thing is, everybody know who she is. She has this, this Wonder Woman is pretty much Wonder Woman a corporate manager, corporate CEO, doing her off time, doing her other time, and everybody knows that she's Wonder Woman. Even the people who she's working for know she's Wonder Woman. She's based in Los Angeles. It's just one weird scenario after another. We get another situation where this other woman who is supposedly is the bad guy. She's accusing her of doing steroids that makes people superhuman strong and give them mass strength. Accusing her on national television without any evidence whatsoever, no proof, no nothing. And the lady who's playing this is not one time I felt that she was a threat at all. She didn't even come out as a threat. She just came out one of those girls with okay, you can't touch me, that kind of stuff. It just was very, very weird. The villains, the bad guys, or the henchmen, what do you call, not one time I felt threatening. In fact, I actually kind of felt sorry for them because they've been going through hell thanks to Wonder Woman antics. I mean, she actually tortured somebody in the hospital to get information, which she never did in the comics, at least none I read. They try to go back to the old style, but it was pretty much too late. Doing in some scenes, she has like the bracelets. You know how they normally when the bullets bounce off the bracelets, which all right, well, we got something from the comic book, but then that all gets thrown out the window where he basically used a guy as a human shield to get him shot, and then she did something that I think pretty much was the final nail in the coffin of this whole entire television plot. She threw a pipe on this guy's neck, killing him, and basically it just shook my head. I'm like, wow, she basically killed somebody, which again, that's off the left field. This whole entire pilot is a disaster. It's a big giant mess. They really dropped the ball. There's no other way to put it. It's just so shocking. I thought that Bird of Prey dropped the ball on how they presented the Batman universe. This is worse because in this universe, it doesn't even take place in DC. It takes place in our live world, which automatically is the first mistake right there. And say what you want about Bird of Prey. I'm not a big fan of Bird of Prey. I hated that show. But at least they try to do something different, but at the same time keeping it true to Gotham's folklore. This has nothing to do. They didn't even try and keep true to Wonder Woman's character, let alone stay true to the story arc in itself. This was a totally big mess. The only saving grace I gotta say is that the girl who played Wonder Woman was actually not bad. I think if she would have had a better story arc behind her, I think this would have been a very she would have been a very good Wonder Woman. I actually liked her betrayal a bit as Wonder Woman. As much as crazy as it may seem, I think she did a pretty good job, basically trying to work with absolutely nothing. As for the suit, I'm gonna be honest. The pictures that we saw online and on the news report in the first image was very, very deceitful. The pants was not bad. I actually thought it was pretty cool. I actually thought it was pretty good. It's not terrible. It's decent. It's very, very wonderful. But they threw that out the window during the final fight scene when she's back to our original bikini thong wear, which makes no sense because you went through this whole entire series with her wearing the pants, and then you just threw that out the window in the last scene. So it pretty much wasted. It was pretty much all went for nothing. Another thing I didn't like about this, and this is actually surprising, they trying to make her look. They trying to make her. They didn't know what she was. She was supposed to be the strong woman, but then again, she also has a feminine side to her. There was a scene where she's talking about merchandising. Since when did Wonder Woman ever did merchandising in her life? I don't know. That didn't make any sense to me. But she's mad because they explain her boobs and her rear end in a way that she doesn't approve. Even though she signed off on it, it makes no sense. And there's also trying to show that even though she does have a softer side, where when she's at home, she's watching the news, and you have all these cameos, which makes no sense. You have Nancy Grace there, you have some other news anchor there. Don't ask me where these guys came from or why they're there. They're just there, and they're talking about how she's this, and that, and then later on they praise her for the job work they've done. Which, by the way, I don't think she's done anything that should be justified praise, because this is the kind of woman we got. Instead of a person who is supposed to be standing for truth and justice, and by the same time abiding by law, you have a woman who tortures, disregard the law, and basically murders and don't have any repercussion. Basically, she just, it wasn't for the fact that she stumbled upon the secret laboratory where they was using foreigners, illegal aliens, as experiments for this superhuman steroid. She would have been in jail. There's no other way to put it. And the fact they never really explain this woman's true motive, the woman who is supposed to be this big enemy, it really comes out of left field. I mean, it was a big mess. There's something about the pilot you should know. If you guys do find a search for it, it's not complete. You do see the strings on some of the characters. It is not completed because they never really got a chance to finish the product because they got canceled. But overall, the fight sequence, it didn't really, whether it's complete or not, the fight sequence was just, it was just, that's all I can tell you about it. Again, they really did drop the ball on this show. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I wish I could explain more in detail, but trust me when I say it, this show is pretty much almost unredeemable as a show. This show would have been booted off. Everybody would have been complaining about it. It would probably be a controversial show just for the fact alone that she's torturing and basically murdering, and that's not what Wonder Woman is. People, complain about the Batman killing people in the first two Batman films with Tim Burton, but I believe me, people will really be up in arms just to see Wonder Woman do what she did in this pilot. It's just unbelievable, and it's sad too because I really was hoping that this would, really, bring back Wonder Woman as a very main part of the DC world. Because let's be honest, besides Smallville, which got the 10 years, and I have my problem with Smallville a little bit, but one thing I will say about Smallville, they knew what to change and they knew what to keep, and they balanced it out. Where in the end, um, the grand finale, which to me is one of the best finales I've seen in a long time, was worth every 10 years going to that, leading up to the last season. Um, and this show, I don't know what they was trying to do. I think they was trying to be different, but they went way beyond what Wonder Woman is. I mean, there's no other way to put it. They really, I think they had no regard to the character arc of this character, and I think that's kind of sad. Um, Here's the thing, though, and it's kind of funny because this show, I'll tell you right now, the it's getting a half a star for the simple fact is I thought the woman who played this character, if she would have seriously had that story again, if she would have had a better character development, I think she would have pulled it off. Unfortunately, it didn't work that way. But I will say this though, I think that they still have time to bring another Wonder Woman series to the forefront. I think I think people are ready for it. I just think they have to really go back, really look at what the origin is, and then work on what Wonder Woman stood for, not what people think they should be, but what it really is. Because the story there is great. The story is interesting. I have dive into the Wonder Woman story arc countless of times, and they're very good reads. And I think that they really, really respect this character, go by what that character is. You don't have to make it, cartoonish. You can make it realistic, but but at the same time, give some parents that they, because let's be honest, if I'm watching this, if I was watching Superman, and I was watching Batman, I'm expecting a certain aura of Batman. I'm expecting a certain dark tale of Batman. Same thing goes with Superman. I mean, one of the things that I had a problem with Superman Returns was it didn't feel like Superman at all. But like I said, if you give something a realistic tune at the same time, stay respected to the character and the universe that surrounded this character, I think people will come back and see it. You can bring Wonder Woman to the big screen, and you can bring Wonder Woman to the forefront in terms of television. It has been proven. I think Smallville proven that if you know how to balance it out correctly. And keep in mind, it's only a pilot. I think if they really are serious to make it a Wonder Woman series, they can just reshoot it the right way, and just go from there. I would like to see the woman reprise that role because I think she can do it. But they have to be serious about this character. They can't make it cartoonish, and they definitely can't make it the way that pilot was, because that pilot was just horrible. There's no excuse for that. So one time I gotta say that NBC did the right thing, but that's basically all I can say about the pilot show. So big fail, fell on all levels, and that's it. If you guys want to comment on it, please, my guests. If you've seen the pilot episode and suffered through like I did, please let me know what you like, dislikes. Until then, this is J77 saying later.